Marcus had been a single father for 3 years, raising his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, ever since his wife passed away from cancer. His co-workers, a group of loud and immature men who thought life was one big prank, decided they would set him up on a blind date. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? They told him she was beautiful, funny, and perfect for him. What they did not tell him was that they had chosen a woman named Diana specifically to humiliate him, because in their shallow world, Diana did not meet their ridiculous standards of beauty. She was a plus-sized woman, warm-eyed and gentle-voiced, who had no idea she was being used as the punchline of a cruel joke. The co-workers planned to secretly watch from across the restaurant and laugh. Marcus walked into the restaurant wearing a blue shirt, nervously holding a small bouquet of flowers, having not been on a date since his wife died. He spotted Diana at the table, and for one brief second he paused. His co-workers leaned forward from across the room, grinning, waiting for the humiliation to unfold. But Marcus straightened his jacket, walked forward with a warm smile, held out the flowers and said, "Diana, these are for you." "I'm Marcus. I'm really glad you're here." Diana looked up, surprised, because men usually did not look at her the way Marcus was looking at her, which was simply with kindness. They began to talk, and within 10 minutes, the co-workers watching from across the restaurant started to look confused, because Marcus was not disgusted or uncomfortable. He was leaning forward, genuinely laughing, genuinely listening. Diana was telling him about her work as a school librarian, about how she read stories to children every Friday afternoon, and Marcus felt something stir inside him because Lily, his daughter, struggled with reading and had grown shy after losing her mother. They talked about books and about loss and about the strange courage it takes to keep going when life breaks you. Diana had lost her father 2 years ago and was still carrying that grief quietly, and Marcus understood that kind of quiet grief better than anyone. The co-workers were no longer laughing. They were watching something they did not expect and could not quite understand. An hour passed, then 2. At one point, Marcus showed Diana a photo of Lily on his phone, and Diana's face lit up completely, and she said, "She has the most beautiful eyes. She looks like someone who has a lot of love in her." Marcus felt his throat tighten, because nobody had said something that simple and that true about his daughter in a very long time. When the evening was ending, Marcus walked Diana to her car, and he said something to her that changed everything. He said, "I have to be honest with you. I found out just now, from a text one of my co-workers accidentally sent to the wrong person, that this whole date was set up to be a joke on both of us. I want you to know that I am deeply sorry you were treated that way. And I want you to know that I had one of the best evenings I have had in 3 years. You are not a joke to me. You are one of the most genuinely warm people I have ever met." Diana stood very still in the parking lot, and her eyes filled with tears, not from sadness but from the shock of being seen. She had spent so much of her life being overlooked, being the subject of whispers, being made to feel like she was somehow too much and not enough at the same time. And here was this man with tired eyes and a kind heart, standing in a parking lot telling her she was worth something. She wiped her eyes and laughed softly and said, "Well, I guess the joke failed." Marcus smiled and said, "Completely." He called his co-workers out the very next morning in front of the entire office. He did not yell. He simply said, "What you did was cruel and immature, and if you ever think that another person's body or loneliness is something to laugh at, you need to look seriously at who you are becoming." The room was silent. Marcus and Diana went on a second date the following weekend, and he brought Lily. Lily climbed into Diana's lap within 20 minutes and asked her to tell her a story. And Diana did, in that gentle librarian voice that made even the air feel softer. Real love does not care about the cruel plans of small-minded people. It walks into a restaurant, holds out a bouquet, and chooses kindness when the whole world is waiting for it to fail. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Kindness True Stories, because every story here is a reminder that goodness still exists in this world.